Welcome to the Weekly Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Owen, and I'm here to predict some playoffs. I've put together a random assortment of brackets. They're the right matchups. You can trust me. It is currently 4:31 a.m. If you can see that. I don't know if you can. I've been up all night scouting. I have work in an hour and a half. So let's just record this real quick, so I can get it out, because the playoffs start in 2 days. So I'm just gonna run through this real quick, get this out there as soon as possible. It might even be wrongly labeled, but we'll see what happens. Our first game, we'll do Bills Patriots. I'm gonna pick the Bills, not just because I'm a homer, but because I believe their offense is better. Obviously, Mac Jones has kind of fallen off the past few months, and despite the coaching advantage going to Bill Belichick and the Patriots, and the weather is not going to be good like it was the first time they met up in Buffalo, which I was there, and it was, holy crap, it was bad. But the wind isn't going to be that bad. It's saying that it's going to be negative 1 degrees, but the wind should be not even close. It was 50 mile per hour gusts that day. This should be 5 mile per hour gusts. So it's not going to be nearly as bad. Josh Allen's going to be able to actually throw. Hopefully Ryan Dable understood what he did wrong the last time, understand what he did right the other time, letting Josh Allen run, attacking the outside edges with the run game, and then that'll open up play action down the field. Our defense has been solid. I'm not too worried about that matchup defense versus Mac Jones offense. They just ran the ball so many times, they're bound to break ones when they run it 42 times. So I'm confident in the Bills' abilities, and if they lose, then we're going to have a long talk about the Patriots and how they have run this division and how they continue to run it to this day. But we can only hope that doesn't happen. Next up, Bengals Raiders. And now I want to go with the upset here. I want to go with the Raiders. I really like the Raiders. I love Derek Carr. But the Bengals are so good. But I don't trust their head coach. But then again, the Raiders have a head coach who I don't even know who he is. I know he was promoted in the wake of the whole John Gruden thing, and he's done a good job since then. But I just think there's so much inexperience. Derek Carr, even though being the veteran quarterback in this matchup, he has the same amount of playoff starts as Joe Burrow has, which is 0. So they're both making their first playoff starts. I'd take Joe Burrow over Derek Carr at this moment in time. I'd take the weapons that the Bengals have over the Raiders' weapons. The defenses, that's what you catch me up on there. If you have to pin me down, I gave you a pick. I don't just want to go with favorites this entire time. I don't want to go with the higher seeds, because there's going to be an upset. And if there was going to be an upset, I'd peg either the Patriots or the Raiders game. I'm more confident in the Patriots. But I don't know. I just keep getting this weird gut feeling about the Raiders. I'm going to go with the Raiders. Bengals are a year ahead of where they're supposed to be with the rebuild. So that's good for them. I think the Raiders are going to pull this one out. I don't know. I have no backing on that. I'm just going gut feeling. The Bengals are a better team on paper and overall. I just don't know why my gut is just telling me to go Raiders. My gut's usually wrong, so Bengals fans should probably just be happy because I didn't pick them. They're probably gonna win. This one's easy. They played earlier this season, Chiefs. They just smashed them. So this is what's gonna be interesting. When the Steelers played KC earlier in the season, TJ Watt was not playing that game, and the Steelers defense as a unit with TJ Watt is substantially better than without him. So I don't know how much of an impact that's going to make on this game. The Chiefs stomped them, and I don't think Chiefs defense has been really good the second half of the season. The Steelers offense is really bad outside Najee Harris. So I think the Chiefs are going to beat them by throwing. They're not going to be able to, and they're just going to outduel them. So I think the Chiefs are going to win that one pretty easily. Okay, that would make the matchups Titans Raiders and Bills Chiefs. Okay, so we go Titans Raiders. This is where I think the Raiders' Cinderella story ends, because the Titans are getting Derrick Henry back. They've won despite having, I think it was 88 or something like that, 80 players playing for them this season due to IR, injuries, COVID, etc. If they get Derrick Henry back, this is an easy dub. Because I don't know if Ryan Tannehill can carry a team far in the playoffs. They went to the AFC Championship game a couple years ago, but he's been pretty poor this season. They have still won games, though. They beat the Bills, so I'm not going to... And they beat the Chiefs, so I'm not going to hold anything against them that much, even though they had Derrick Henry in those games. I think this is where the Raiders stop ends. I think the Titans are a good team, and and will definitely make today's championship game. Mike Vrabel is a great coach, as shown here. Now, okay, this is the game where this is going to separate the men from the boys here. Bills at Chiefs. Earlier this season, Bills went to the Chiefs in Arrowhead and beat them. I think it was decently a one-sided game. Score may not reflect that, but it looked pretty one-sided to me when I watched it. The problem is the Chiefs' defense has gotten a lot better since then. But, I mean, Lamar gave them issues. That was also early in the season. So that's the problem is, what Chiefs defense are we going to get here? Is it going to be the Chiefs defense that blew it, just was totally filled with holes against the Bills the first time they played? Or is elite KC defense going to go against an elite Bills offense and be able to just do what they've been doing? They shut down the Cowboys, but again, the Cowboys, I'm not as confident in their offense as I am with the Bills offense. Even though they have number one offense, they beat up on teams like the Giants and Washington all season. Bills have been able to step up to the plate against some better competition and haven't been able to beat up on the softies. So I think that their offensive resume is up and down, but I think against the good teams, they've shown what they can do on offense, specifically against the Chiefs team. This one I am going to go with the homer pick. I'm going to pick the Bills because they beat them earlier this season, and they need to beat, just like how they need to beat the Patriots to keep the division from seemingly being the Patriots division, they need to beat the Chiefs to prevent another thing like last year where it's like, oh, well, you did all this and that to try to beat the Chiefs. You beat them early in the season, and then you couldn't beat them again in the playoffs. So I think they need this game more than the Chiefs need this game. And the Chiefs are decently banged up. The Bills are without Tre'Davious White, which could be an issue, but I think that they're playing overall the best defense in the league right now, despite having their number one corner gone for the entire season. So I think they'll be able to hold on and hold out for that one, even though it's in Arrowhead, which would just be so sweet if they could do that. So AFC Championship game, Titans-Bills. Derrick Henry is most likely back for this one. Oh, it's going to hurt me. Do I want to do it? Do I want to pull the trigger on the 3rd seed Bills over the 1 seed Titans? I don't think Ryan Tannehill can get them to the Super Bowl. I don't think he's a good enough quarterback. The Julio Jones signing or trade has been awful for them. A.J. Brown is banged up. Derrick Henry might still be rusty, or might be rested enough to just run for 1,000 yards in the playoffs alone. Who knows? That's the gamble here. And I will gamble on the Buffalo Bills. Again, it might seem like I'm being a homer, but if they're on their game, they're the best team in the NFL. It's just the consistency factor is giving me doubts, but I think they're on a 3-game win streak right now. What scares me is, are they going to be able to string together a 7-game win streak with how inconsistent they and Josh Allen have been throughout the season? Defense has been consistent. Josh Allen has not. And the record kind of reflects that inconsistency with Josh Allen. Can Josh Allen be consistent through 3 straight games in the playoffs to get them to the Super Bowl against 3 teams they've already played? I think I'm just going to go with it. I'm praying this happens. I'm going to put the Bills in the Super Bowl. It's a logical step. It's kind of like a Super Bowl or bust season for them. They need to make it there, or this offseason and everything is total waste, and they need to get that. So AFC, this is what it looks like. Bills beat Patriots, Raiders beat Bengals, Chiefs beat Steelers, Titans beat Raiders, Bills beat Chiefs, Bills beat Titans. Bills represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Let's hop over to the NFC now. Sorry if I'm talking fast. 2 monsters at 4:30 a.m. We'll get you there. Bucks, Eagles. All right, Bucks should win this pretty easily. They played early in the season, smoked them. Eagles are a good story, but I don't see a lot coming from them in the postseason. They're way ahead of schedule for the rebuild, and I'm proud of them for that. But they're not going to be able to match up to the Bucks. Their defensive secondary isn't good enough, even with a depleted Bucks wide receiver core. The Bucks defense should be able to shut down Jalen Hurts. They were able to do it with a lot of mobile quarterbacks in last season's playoffs, and it's playoff Brady. So I'm going to roll with them until playoff Brady can show me he's wrong, like he did against the Titans that 1 year, but he's been playing the lights out ball ever since he went down to Tampa. Okay, Rams, Cardinals. This is an interesting game between a team that I think has no right to be in the playoffs in the seed they're in, even though it's a 5 seed in the Cardinals. And a team I think has the absolute most to lose in this playoffs with the Rams. They traded so many picks and their quarterback that got them to a Super Bowl for Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford has been ass in the playoffs, and now it's going to be a failure for Matt Stafford and his legacy, and a failure for that trade in the Rams as an organization if the Rams do not make it to a Super Bowl. With that said, the Cardinals kicked the crap out of the Rams earlier this season, but Cliff Kingsbury's team has been on a slide. They're never good late in the season. I trust Sean McVay more than I trust Cliff Kingsbury, and as long as Matt Stafford doesn't throw 3 picks and with 2 pick sixes, I think they should pull this one out. I think. Hoping. Cowboys 49ers. Alright. Nobody wants to play the 49ers right now. I don't know what. I don't know. This is another game where it's like, I want to go with the upset. The 49ers pick. They've been playing really good football. Cowboys, they've blown out 2 teams now, but they've also lost to good teams. I don't trust Mike McCarthy in the slightest, so I'm going to go 49ers just because Mike McCarthy is probably going to do something stupid in the game, blow it for them. And that's probably my biggest argument there. I think I trust the coaching of San Fran more. I trust the Dallas offense more, but Dallas defense is full of splash players, and the 49ers offense is just consistently good with Debo and the running backs and Jimmy G. I think they'll be able to consistently just whittle the defense, play time of possession, keep it out of the Cowboys offense, run the ball real well, especially with Debo. If I was a gamble man, I'd bet the over on whatever rushing yards Debo is getting put on as a prop bet this game. Probably going to utilize him a lot in jet sweeps and things like that. This will be the Debo game, is my prediction. This will be the Debo Samuel game. They're going to control the clock, keep it out of Cowboys' offense's hands, target those corners, even though Diggs has had 11 interceptions this season, I think. He's led up over 1,000 yards receiving, so target them, challenge them to make plays. If they do, oh well, you do your best, but I think the 49ers are going to be able to squeak this one out. At that point, it'd be Packers, 49ers, Rams, Bucks. We'll start with Rams, Bucks here. The Rams will be coming in here with the defense that I absolutely love and adore versus a Bucks team that is injured to hell and back at wide receiver. Their defense has been inconsistent this season. They've been looking like defense of old, and they've looked like washed-up garbage. I said this in the preseason and ever since the offseason. The Rams are a team that was specifically built to beat the Bucks. Attention all weekly Huddle followers, I have a huge announcement. I have joined up with Caleb from KillPro88 on YouTube to help work on a draft and dynasty football database. It is called the Dynasty Index and contains detailed content revolving around both dynasty fantasy football and NFL draft coverage. On this new platform, you will find dynasty player rankings, NFL draft prospect rankings, detailed player scouting reports, and much more. I am so happy to be working on this project with Caleb and the rest of our contributors, and we've already gotten so much information and exclusive content on the site ready for you to dive into. I personally have been putting a ton of effort into this, and I'm recommending you check it out. The subscription prices are $3 a month or $20 a year, and if you ask me, you get way more on the site than what you're paying for, so it's a definite steal. If you are interested, contact Caleb on Twitter at KillPro88 or email him at calebschmidt7@gmail.com. Once you get your subscription, you'll have full access to the Notion server, and will even be able to have access to it through the Notion app on your phone. So don't wait, subscribe now, and get access to one of the best draft databases and dynasty ranking sites. As long as Matt Stafford stays out of their way, they will do that in the playoffs. So I'm trusting the Rams to win this game. Just injuries, personnel-wise, and just I think the way they've built this team, and this was their Super Bowl, it was the NFC Championship, or a playoff game against the Bucks. I think they've built their team and prepped their team to beat them specifically, which you saw earlier in the season when they beat them in the regular season. But I think this is what they're waiting for, a playoff game. If they think that they can get past the Bucks, they can probably win the whole thing. And that's what they built for, and that's what they're going to do here. 49ers, Green Bay. Green Bay cannot beat the 49ers for whatever reason in the playoffs. I remember when the 49ers ran all over them. It was like 30-9 or something like that at one point. But this is not that same 49ers team. This is what gives me issues here. Is I think San Fran could win this. My gut is telling me to go with San Fran. But the Packers at the same time, Aaron Rodgers is playing Aaron Rodgers like football. So it's hard to argue that. The 49ers DBs are not that good. They would have to play another time of possession game like they did with the Cowboys earlier in this playoffs. I just think that putting the defense of the 49ers against the Packers offense and the Packers defense versus the 49ers offense, unlike the Cowboys defense, I think the Packers defense is more consistent with talent spread all the way around. They're not just big splash play defense. They are consistently coached. They have good players at every position and elite players at the positions that matter with pass rush and with coverage. And I think Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think they can just throw. They're going to try to throw it over the top against the 49ers, and I think they'll be able to have success with that. So I'll go Green Bay over 49ers. But 49ers are probably the team, I think, out of the wild card teams that can make the Super Bowl in the position they're in. NFC Championship game here. We have Rams-Packers. I'm doing this off the cuff. Again, at what time is it now? 4:45 a.m. I'm just trying to get through this so I can go cuddle with my cat in my bed. Rams-Packers. Now, I want to say Rams. I think the Rams are the best, or is the better defense. Packers are definitely the better offense. Now, what I'm worried about for the Packers-wise is the Packers' offensive line against this Rams pass rush. When the Packers played the Rams last season, they were facing a Jared Goff with a surgically repaired thumb that was just barely able to compete. And I think their defense isn't better than last year's defense, because last year's defense was number 1 overall defense. But the Rams' defense is better than the 49ers' defense. It's better than Cowboys or anybody else here. And I think they're the ones who'd give Rodgers the biggest fit. This is the problem, is Rodgers is so good, but he's so bad in NFC Championship games. He made it one time. Oh, I wish I could flip a coin. Just because I'm going to go with what my gut is saying here, because, again, I laid it out. Packers' offense is way better. Rodgers is more consistent than Matt Stafford. He doesn't make as many mistakes as Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford can stay out of his way one more game, so that'd be 3 straight games he'd have to stay out of his way. Against high-level competition, they could make it. But, okay. I want to say Rams. Bills, Super Bowl. But I think this is the season, the last season in Green Bay, will put Rodgers in the Super Bowl against the Bills with Green Bay. Oh, yeah, Rams was close. It was close with Rams. It was close. I definitely... See, I'm still debating if I want to go with Rams. The Bills, I'm pretty set on. I'm like, okay, the AFC, I think the Bills could win the AFC. I look at every single one of these teams, and I think, okay, the Bills have a fighting chance in this. If not, they'll probably be the favorites. Maybe against KC and Tennessee, they won't be the favorites, but I'm still fairly confident they can pull those ones out. LA versus Buccaneers, Green Bay versus San Francisco, those both give me really tough vibes. And then LA versus Green Bay is even the hardest. Now the question comes, so now this is our Super Bowl, Green Bay, Buffalo. The question comes, is Buffalo's defense the best defense Aaron Rodgers is going to face in this playoffs? How healthy is the Buffalo defense? Did they stay healthy throughout the playoffs? But I can't speculate that because that's information that's out of my hands. I can't control that. Can Josh Allen outduel Aaron Rodgers on the biggest stage of them all? Okay, let's go. Defense. I think the Bills have the better defense overall than the Packers. I will give the slight edge to the Packers on offense because Aaron Rodgers is playing better than Josh Allen this season. Oh, it's more than a slight edge, really. And Aaron Jones as a running back with A.J. Dillon, they got a better running game. But our offensive line, I think I'm talking myself into this one right now, but I think, offensive firepower on the run game. I mean, they don't really have that great wide receivers like they have Devontae Adams. But outside of him, I think the Bills can handle their wide receivers. But they have a good balance of run game with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. Their offensive line is decent. They have Devontae Adams. They have Aaron Rodgers. And their defense is pretty solid. Whereas the Bills, Josh Allen is the sole contributor on offense. They're trying to get Devin Singletary going for the playoffs, but I don't know if he can outduel both those guys. I just said it for the Packers by himself. Josh Allen would need to not make any mistakes in a season where he's thrown a career-high interceptions. He'd have to do a lot of it by himself, and we've seen in the past when a team relies on one player to win games by themselves solely, they can only go so far. And with elite competition like this, and with players that are just a more well-rounded offense, and maybe not as good of a defense, but there's still a very rock-solid defense, I think in the Super Bowl between Bills and Packers, I will go with Green Bay as our Super Bowl champions here. Yeah, I hope it doesn't happen. I wish my Buffalo Bills would win a Super Bowl. I wasn't alive for the 4 losses, but this would be tough too, so we'll see. I think the Packers are the best team in the playoffs right now. The Bills could be that out of the AFC. Could be Titans Packers, could be KC Packers. I hope it's not KC Packers because, screw Nick Wright. Am I right, guys? Yeah, I'm right. Cool. But yeah, that's my Super Bowl prediction. Final score: Packers Bills. I will go 28-24 Packers. All right, with a fourth quarter, 2-minute drive interception by Josh Allen to end the game, or just a stall out and then they kneel the ball out. But that is my prediction for the Super Bowl. Sorry, this was a little rushed and I talked really fast. It's probably only going to be like 20 minutes long. But like I said, I work in an hour. I'm not tired, but I've been working on Dynasty Index stuff all night. If I can even reach 10 viewers of this podcast, and some of you aren't subscribed to Dynasty Index, hit up KeelPro88 on Twitter. There's going to be a link and everything in the bio, or you can go check out him on YouTube, and there's a link there and things like that. But go subscribe to that. Help support all this hard work I'm putting in, and all the sleep deprivation I am currently suffering through, and insomnia, to put more and more players into that database for the draft coming up this April. And yeah, I hope this one does well, and I hope I can nail these predictions, because I think I'm pretty confident with my underdog picks with the Raiders and the 49ers, and I'm more not as comfortable with our divisional round picks, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it is this weekend. This weekend, right, guys? All right. That is it. I'm done. It's draft season for everybody else, playoff season for these few 14 teams, so a lot of my stuff's going to be draft content, but I will be talking about the playoffs while they're still going on, so keep up to date for that. I'm doing some YouTube Shorts things now. If you haven't, go check those out. Other than that, yeah, I'll see you guys later.